guys, Coach Joshua here again. So for this week's blog, I want to talk a little bit about nutrition, and it's something that I get asked about, not a whole lot, but I thought because some people may not know or understand or the reasoning behind it, I thought I'd shed a little light on carb cycling. What is carb cycling? It's actually very simple. Carb cycling is just cycling the amount of carbs you eat based on what kind of day it is. Typically, if it's a weight training day, you're having a high carb day. Now, I say high carb because it's not like you're eating more carbs. Typically, I have worked a few meal plans where they were more than what they were having already because it wasn't adequate. But hypothetically, let's say you have a good plan and you're eating where you're supposed to be. A high carb day on a carb cycling plan is really your normal carb day. In relation to what your low carb day is, that is any day that you are not weight training, and that is an actual lower carb day. That is, maybe a third of the amount of carbs you normally have, maybe a fourth. It kind of depends, but when I say high carb day in reference to carb cycling, it doesn't mean, crazy, whatever, 800 grams of carbs or something. Maybe for some people, but it's not a crazy above your normal. It is your normal. And then a low carb is much lower than your normal. But they are referred to as high carb and low carb days. So, anyway, get that out of the way. High carb is weight training days typically. If you go a lot, like me personally, I go to the gym 6 days a week. Carb cycling won't have as much of effect because in essence anyway, I would be doing 6 days of normal carbs and 1 day of low carb. That's not super carb cycling-ish, and I actually do that quite a bit. But like I said, I'm not on a carb cycling plan per se right now. I have used it for weight loss. That's generally, excuse me, losing my voice right here. That's generally when they are implemented is weight loss. You can gain muscle. It is harder that way. It does take longer, and people have a problem with how long things are supposed to take, and they want everything done fast right now, and stuff doesn't work that way. But it is possible. Maintain weight for sure. It can definitely help you maintain weight, and it can definitely help you lose weight. And that is usually when it is implemented, is when you want to lose weight without losing muscle. When I say weight, generally what you want, of course, is fat. You don't want muscle, and not everything you lose will be fat either. It will be water, it will be glycogen, it will, it all adds up to weight, but the only one that really matters is maintaining muscle. So anyway, on days you weight train, you're going to do your normal carbs, a high carb day on that plan, and days you don't, an active rest day. Maybe you're just doing cardio that day, maybe you're doing like kettlebell work or something that's not so taxing as your weight training. That would be a lower carb day. And the reason behind is that on the lower carb days, your body will end up using more fat as fuel. Our bodies want to use carbs. Carbs is the first macronutrient it goes to. It is our body's preferred source of energy and is what it will use first. Unless you're on certain other plans like a keto diet, which I recently got asked that again, so I'm just going to do a blog and a video about that soon. So I'm not going to go into a ton of that here, but there are ways to do it. Now, the downsides of why people may not want to go full into keto, which is basically zero carb, that's what it is, but because you don't feel the greatest. Some people function better than others. I would say less than most, though. It's not the greatest, especially in the beginning. When you first start, even carb cycling, I'm not talking about like full keto, no carb dieting, just carb cycling. When you first start, you can sometimes you're super hungry on that day. That gets you frustrated. That makes it makes everything harder for that day. The mental focus isn't necessarily there. And when you do it for prolonged time, your metabolism can take a hit. Carbs really help drive your metabolism. Carbs, when you eat carbs, you get the totally forgot the word I want. What's it called? You're not helping me out at all. Insulin. Couldn't even think of that. When you eat carbs, you get your body, the insulin response you get from eating them is what drives nutrients in the muscle. It's what makes your muscles grow. That's why typically when they say you want to grow your muscles, meat and carbs are key. Now, again, is it necessary? No, but I'm just trying to stay as open here as possible without going into every single thing. Meat and carbs are what do it. And the insulin response you get is what drives nutrients in the muscles. The muscle just work, helps your recovery, helps your endurance, and helps them grow. When you're on low carb, everything I just mentioned is affected. Your endurance goes down, your recovery goes down, your growth goes down. And it's just what happens. Can you get past those first few weeks and get it changed? Yes, our bodies are amazing. It will convert, the protein you eat into the carbs that it needs through glycolysis. But I try not to go into crazy detail. I don't want to make this 22 minutes or something. But still, that carb cycling is great because on high carb days you have the endurance, you have the muscle pump, you have the insulin response, you have the recovery, you have the growth that you want from the weight training. And on the lower carb days you have your body using more fat hold on, I'll go back to that. Your body uses more fat. What just popped in my head is, as long as you keep your protein the same, don't change the protein. Protein never changes. I mean, it does, but that's according to a plan. But when carb cycling, your protein should never go under 1 gram per pound. We all know that is a standard. Of course, it can be different when you get a full meal plan worked out, but standard, basic, without a lot of work on your part, 1 gram per pound of body weight. Fat may change. You may want to lower down fat to increase the room for the carbs on your caloric intake for the day. That isn't always necessary. You should have a good plan worked out, and to see if you should really do that, sometimes you just need to lower the carbs and leave everything the same. Other times you need to lower the fat. Raise the carbs. And then other times you need to lower the fat when you raise the carbs to allow for the room. So, on the carb cycling plan, on the high carb days, the weight training days, you still get all that, but on the low carb days, you get burning fat. And because of those high carb days spread out usually during the week, usually you have between 1 and 3, maybe 4, on depending how your plans worked out, you don't suffer the effects as much. You still may feel them, but it won't be as much. You won't suffer the endurance. The recovery may suffer some, and the metabolism may suffer a little bit, but it will not be as much as going full on low carb, no carb for a prolonged period of time. So you get to try to maximize as much as possible the work you're doing in the weight room while cutting down on the body fat from the low carb days. So that is why people do carb cycling. That is my brief, even though it turned out not to be so brief. Hopefully you're still watching. Didn't mean to bore you, but that is the basic explanation of what carb cycling is and why you do it and the effects it has. And it can be very helpful. I've helped a lot of people lose weight with it. I have used it myself in the past. I have also dieted down with keeping all the macros the same, and that does also work. But depending on how your plan is, carb cycling can be very key and very helpful for a lot of people, and it does work. And it's a good thing. So I'd say if you never tried it, I would say give it a try. It's at least worth one try. If for some reason you don't like it, you don't like how you feel, do something else. But I just want to give you a little explanation of carb cycling. I helped you guys out. Try it. Let me know how it goes. Put it down in the comments. Anything you want to say. I love to engage with you guys. Like, share, comment. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I make at least 2 videos a week. Till next time, keep on lifting.